It's difficult to come after such energy. Well, I would like to start by I'm expressing my deeper thanks to for joining this amazing academy. I mean, as an astrophysicist or astronomers, I feel this long link that this academy has with astronomy was mentioned, and one of the very first one was Galileo Galilei. So I hope to be up to the task joining this academy. In terms of personal trajectory, the very often question I got asked is, how did you choose to become a scientist and a physicist? And actually, the answer is always pretty disappointing for people, because I keep telling them, well, actually, I never choose. Nature chose for me. I think I'm born a scientist in a sense that I was always extremely curious, more than the average. And it's a bit embarrassing sometimes because I never have enough. I never want to know more. And that's certainly why at some point I decided to do in physics, because I was simply incapable to choose what to do, because there are so many things that is so interesting. So I decided that physics would give me this broad knowledge without having to choose. And I realized by studying physics that I just loved it. And I went into astrophysics. It's not very clear exactly why. I mean, part of the reason could be part of my family background. Part of my family is Greek, and I had the chance when I was kids to go in Greece, in islands in Greece, when there were no light, no electricity. So I really know what it is to sleep outside in the dark. The Milky Way was something very familiar to me. I never be scared by night. Actually, I love the night. And it's certainly part of it. The other reason is possibly because I love nature, and when I was in front of a big choice, whether I will do particle physics or astrophysics, both physics is amazing, but actually the idea to be up in the mountain next to a telescope was more aesthetically appealing to me. This is how I became an astrophysicist, in a sense. And then we have to be really clear on that. I think the discovery of the first planet, while it was somewhat planned, but not to happen exactly like that, but it clearly folded on us in a sense that nobody, including us, were expecting with my supervisor to find a planet in a short period. So at that moment, it defined completely my trajectory, because when you are at the beginning of something which is so exciting, you get kind of hooked by the topic. At the same time, it was a bit of a curse, because for a couple of years, I think that was not really a field that was very popular, and most of the people didn't believe that I was right, what we did. It was never a problem for me, but it was not really fun until, let's say, early 2000, when the field started to lift up, and then people started to understand what was going on. Well, since then, I kept working on that and building equipment. One of my most elevated prowess was to finally be part of a satellite, the first Swiss satellite called Queloz. But at the same time, I felt that I wanted some more challenges. I felt that the field I was on it was a bit too much narrow. I wanted to open my horizon, and I got an opportunity that came as a surprise to me. I got an offer to join a University of Cambridge. It was 2013. And to me, that was really an eyes-opening moment, because by moving to this university, the big change that happened is I had the chance to experiment a broader physics. And I realized that astrophysics is part of something broader, and this is how gradually I moved my interest for show physics, and then the question of life in the universe. So it was a very gradual build-up that came naturally by the exposure of these many different disciplines that is very easy to connect in the University of Cambridge, because everybody living next to each other, and you go to the market, you meet your colleagues. So it's really kind of a very specific kind of surroundings. Now, clearly the 2019 moment of Nobel Prize was completely a surprise, and it was a complete change that opened opportunity, but also it forced me to consider maybe part of my time doing a bit something else than just staying in my lab. It means a bit more traveling, a bit more public exposure to explain science and to communicate science. But at the same time, it was also an extraordinary opportunity for me to try to build up something more community-related. And this all started the idea of, why don't we make a center that is going to connect different disciplines? It has been a tremendous work with many of my colleagues in Cambridge, and we've been very successful to create this Labour Home Centre 2 years ago. And then this center inspired a lot of other developments. One of them is a communication, a direct discussion with the president of ETA in Zurich that wanted to do the same. And it tried to convince me that I should go back to Zurich to start the center. Impossible to leave my Cambridge love, and I had to kind of trade off here and say, okay, I'm gonna do something as well in Zurich, but I can't leave Cambridge. So that's why right now I'm oscillating between two worlds, the world of the snow and the world of the rain. No, the weather is not that bad in Cambridge. I can tell you the weather can be very rainy in Switzerland as well, especially in Zurich compared to Geneva, and I used to spend most of my life. So this is a bit what I'm doing right now, and clearly I must say that I would have never been able to achieve all of that without the extraordinary support that I got from my family. I got kids, my wife is amazing, and sometimes I keep thinking, oh my God, I mean, I brought them into all these stories, all this travel, and now the Nobel Prize in addition to that, so my God, they are really amazing to still be with me and be nice with me. Thank you.